Okay. Are we live? I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Hello, everybody. We're trying out a different screen capture today, where I'm just sharing a window. This might be a little bit better than plugging in a laptop, which is what I did last time. It means that, A, I can use my bigger screen to actually type on. I can use my regular keyboard. Of course, the downside is I don't normally do this because I might accidentally, show some of my own files that I don't want to. We'll see how this works. Anyways, I'm here for version 4 of a playtest. I've been running a few of these, and people seem to like it so far. And what I've been doing is I've basically been giving people some pre-made stuff, and just kind of throwing them into like a random challenge, right? And obviously that's what you should be doing for your first few play tests, right? You don't want to start with character creation because people won't even know what they're making the character for, right? Like, how do you make a character when you don't know how anything works? The other thing I want to do, maybe make a couple of edits to this stuff here. But I'm just kind of looking through here. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good at all this. I haven't really talked about, probably the biggest thing. So a couple of things I'm just going to change about the core rules, right? One is we actually want cast and channel to be a separate deal. So let's just fix that. So cast, yeah, to do it. So let's just see here. Let's see here. Yes, we can continue to do this. So let me just say consume any MP, only casting the spell. Okay, so here we go. Let's just add that to dictionary. Okay. Allows you to cast that spell. Okay, so great. So now channel and cast are separate actions. That actually, because that was some feedback from playtest number 3. Was, oh hey, I would like to be able to just cast channel every single turn. I didn't think that was too powerful, so it seems fine to me. All right. I'll just say here, some weapons loading before some heavier weapons. Yeah, we'll just say that some, if you're using like a catapult or something, right? You don't do that in like 10 seconds, or I guess it's 5 seconds for the action here. So we have all that. That's good. Other thing I wanted to do is talk about this thing. Minimum of 1 for armor. So, even if you have a ton of armor, you can't block damage, which is fine by me. What else are we talking about? Got the grappling right here. I feel like okay, this is mostly A-okay. The key thing is I'm naming skills, and I haven't really talked about them yet. But let me kinda... This isn't really turns. This is... Yeah, turns is probably a fine way to put it. It's okay. It's inoffensive. Because it is true. Alright, what else do we got here? I could make change stance into an action, but let me actually focus on what I want to do. So right here, you can't see this, I'm holding onto a physical copy of the Traveler Core Rulebook Update 2022. This is the Mongoose version, which is what I recommend for most people. And I'm looking at the character creation section, because I really like how Traveler does things. Traveler does like a... So basically, there are 2 different kinds of character... Well, there's 2 different common ones, right? There's class-based, which is like, oh, hey, you know, you just kind of have, like, you know, here's the character, basically, right? Here's the character that you're playing. This is what they get at every level. And then there's point-based, which is where you just get a bunch of skill points and stuff, and you just get whatever you want. But there's actually a third type, which is the career-based, right? Which is where your career is sort of like a class, but it's not 100% guaranteed what you're going to get from it. Another thing that I'm really trying to do here is I'm really trying to not have attributes in this game. So the interesting thing is that everything is a skill. And this is kind of where I'm differing from Traveler, where Traveler has, like, you know, hey, you know, here is, you know, yeah, roll. So Traveler means that you make a 2d6 roll. And you kind of go down the line there. And that's interesting, but I don't actually want to do that. I want to not have that at all. But the one interesting thing here is that they do have, you know, so Traveler has 6 attributes, right? There's strength, dexterity, and endurance. That's the normal stuff. But, then they have intelligence, education, and social standing. And I'm actually really interested in education and social standing, because those are actually really great ideas, right? Because I do think that pretty much all cultures have, like, a, let's just call it, you know, like a general liberal arts education track, right? That you can be on. Obviously, what's in that curriculum changes in different, you know, cultures and times throughout history. But people actually, but you know, there always is one, right? There always is sort of a, hey, like, here are the things that we try to make sure that everybody gets from education, even if they have some kind of a specialization, right? So I want to capture that feeling. And social standing, I actually like, right? Like, oh, hey, like, you know, how important are you? Yeah, like, are you an important or famous or, like, well-known person? Or even, like, hey, hey, how would you do in this setting, right? Because obviously, right, you can be sort of a very high status in one situation, like, say that I'm a prince or something, right? When I go over, over to the monarchy of some other place, that might be a big deal. Or it might be, not a huge deal. I don't know. That's an interesting question, is, right? Like, are there different types of status that I might want to have? I don't know. But, so let's see here. So yeah, it's creation summary. Yep, you get background skills. Okay. Overview of the character sheet. I don't actually have a character sheet yet. That's something that I need. Okay, so yeah. So Traveler says, you're just from a homeworld. And you get some background skills based on your education. So Traveler doesn't really talk about people's upbringing a lot. I would actually like to change that, right? I would like to basically say... Alright, so let's just say... yeah, maybe I should have just a brief thing here for character sheets. Every character has the following. Do I use bullet points or numbered points? I should probably use bullet points because that way it's just going to be a little bit better. Yeah, I am just using bullet points here. Let's just say damage dice pool. Because yeah, it's the damage dice pool. Takes damage. An injury threshold. Usually 1d20. Characters are injured. Go straight for injured here. Yeah, reached or exceeded. So let's do that thing here. Whenever they take or exceed, whenever they're meets or exceeds. Usually 5. Not always, maybe we'll add some way to do this. A list of skills. Of major skills. So yeah, we have a list of skills, so these are numerical values. Yeah, so here you go. Numerical values that are combined with dice rolls as part of various actions and reactions. A list of minor skills. These are less important. These are binary skills. These are binary. You either have them or you don't. So yeah, if you have it, you cannot. These are languages. So yeah, you have minor skills. I'll kind of look at what a list of skills are later. A list of, say here. This is the number of magic points. Usually 0. Have no spellcasting. Usually 0 unless the character. Alright, we're doing this, major skills, and then a list, let's just call them perks. Let's just call, I don't know, of specializations. These are situational, these take the form of situational bonuses, special actions. Etc. So I do need to go into detail about all of these. A list of spells. There are many specializations. So we have all these things. Anything else I want to look at out of here? I think that these are the main things that I care about. Or I could say that spells are a different thing. Okay, this is everything that a character sheet has. That sounds good to me. Just as like, yeah, this is because I'm looking at the playtest doc at some of the just pre-generated characters that I built up. We should also probably talk about equipment, right? Oh, yeah, we probably should. Oh, the maximum stamina value. A list of equipment. Well, I should actually probably say, like, you know, a list of equipment. These are the items. Person. A list of other possessions. So all of these are pretty solid things, right? This is stuff that everybody has. I can even glance at a traveler sheet here. Let me just give it a quick check. See what I can do here. Let's see. On a traveler sheet, we have, yep, finances, yep, derp. Looking at the various skills, right? I'm not doing species as part of the playtest. That can always come later. We have, okay, yep. Weapons, augments, equipment, background notes, enemies, context, rivals, enemies. And then you have... Let's just do a history table. This is the chronological. List of careers. Okay, this all sounds good to me. I'll say characters usually have 2 stamina points. Alright, next up. Character creation. So yeah, I think we got everything here. You know, I do kind of want to do... Requires an action. So let me actually change that right now. So... change your stance. See. Hello? Change your stance. You can only have 1 stance active. There we go. So change stance is now something there. All right. Of careers. Careers don't necessarily to time. It is possible are not directly correlated career levels at each level. You can stay in your current career. Then we'll say here that, yep, so changing careers free. Let me look at this thing again. So yeah, we don't really have a lot of, like, background careers, right? Are not necessarily correlated with time. I probably don't even need to say that. That's like a really traveler-specific thing that every career represents for things. Changing to a new career. Each career, yeah, most careers have requirements to join. Requirements to join that must be met. If you do not meet the requirements, then you will not be able. Then we'll say, yeah, some of these also have requirements to stay in that career. Level, you will do the following. Now you can move to that career. If a skills check is part of that, is part of the requirement, then you may retry. If you fail the requirements, then you can retry that requirement on a future level. Okay. At each level. So after you choosing a career, so do the following. Gain the starter careers. So hang on. If you I should change this, and I need like a flowchart or something here to really make this a little bit easier to understand. I'm trying to describe this to people. I mean, I know that this is going to be a sticking point for many players because a lot of people have never played a game that does this, so I need to specify this out real well. Let's see here. Okay, let's just say here, some careers have entry bonuses. You gain these. Because I think, so in Traveler, okay, let me check this here. Yeah, I need to look at the start new term. Because, yeah, that's an advancement roll. Yeah, so let's just say here, have a qualification check. Yeah, and then we will say here that, hey, you know, that this is a... This is a skill check. Must be passed. The career. Okay, yes. If you fail the check, you can retry the skill check at a later level. Have an advancement requirement. must be passed in order to stay in the career. Check. Then you must. Then you must change careers. I'll just say you can attempt to. So yeah, there's qualification and there's advancement. These are terms from Traveler, by the way. I should figure out a better one. Yep. An environment, let's see that thing. Let me just say, okay, so here we go. Must start with. Then I'll say every character must take at least one what they did yeah, between 12 to 16 or so. Describes what they did during adolescence here. Okay. And we'll say professional careers are common jobs that characters that many characters will have. Then we'll say that advanced careers knowledge or special organizations or dedicated organizations specialized fields of expertise. Dedicated organizations. Players cannot until level 5. Until they have at least 5 levels. Advanced careers additionally to join. So that makes sense. During their young adult. Phase. So yeah, we must have a childhood career. You You must have one for adolescence here. And you must do it. Cool. Okay, that sounds good. So you have this. And since we don't really have stats, these are important things. All right, let's see here. So yeah, in terms of traveler, they don't really have childhood or adolescence. So that's something that I kind of have to make out of whole cloth here. Okay, there's also commissions, officer stuff. Okay, it's talking about all this stuff. Then we get to these things. So basically, all right, if you do this thing... Okay. So the agent says, all right, law enforcement. So there's like different things here, right? Okay. You have events, ranks and bonuses, skills, and training. So, yeah, you get something for rolling there. So there's a reward table. Drifter is always fun. So yeah, let's see. Each turn you spend, yeah, pick one of those tables. So one of the tables, which is personal development, service skills. Okay, 4 or 5 different types. Okay. Alright, qualification. Skill limit, yep. Basic training, okay. Each career is against a survival roll, yep. Mishap table for the career. I don't know if I want the mishap table. That can be funny. Maybe funny is good. So yeah, so it's basically skills and training, survival, and then events. So yeah, so you basically pick a table. You get a reward from that table. And there are, like, events. So there's a qualification here, yep. Okay. Yep. There's a barbarian, a wanderer, or a scavenger. Just get basic stuff, yeah. Physical stats. Then we need the mishap table and the events. Okay. Every character, so each career. Table. When you choose your career, after choosing your career. Roll the d20 and gain table. Rewards do not stack. Rewards do not stack. If you roll a reward that does not exist, that you already have, if you roll a reward that you already have, then to the next reward in the table, to the next unclaimed in the table. And I'll say if you already have all of the possible rewards from a career, then you must leave that career. Yeah, because you just have nothing more to gain from it. Table. Roll a d20. Yeah, so you have a reward table and an events table. And read that event in the table. Events can be good or bad. In some cases, events can be good or bad. In some cases, an event will force you to leave the career. Good or bad? All right. Read that event in the table. Okay, events do not stack. And you must go to the next event in the table. Okay, this all makes sense. So I'm just trying to keep it real simple, right? So every level, you do two things, right? So you 3 things, right? Following things happen. Yeah, so we don't have an advancement requirement per se. It'll just say if you already have all of the possible events from a career, then you must leave. Then you're done. You will do the following. Let's just say, yep, choose a career. Let's just say roll on the reward table for that career. Okay, there we go. So I just want to be really clear. Yep, choose a career, roll on the reward table, roll on the events table. Okay, if you roll an event that you've already experienced, then you must go to the next unclaimed event in the table. Cool. If you already have all the possible results, yeah, so we just can't do that. Okay, this is a pretty succinct way of putting it. I like this a lot. So now we need childhood careers. And this is where I want to go into more depth. Yeah, let's just say, okay, this career, every character has 1. That character, every character starts with 1. Let's just say background career sounds a little bit better. That the character grew up in. Roll, we encourage, you can choose your childhood career. By default, players roll a d20. Alright. The Game Master allows it. Alright, yep, then the player, if allows it, then the player just say may allow players to choose a background. So we have like background, adolescent, professional careers. Okay, so yeah. We have backgrounds. So now we need a table. Can people see this submenu? No, they cannot. Interesting. Just because of the way that I'm doing my screen capture here. Where do I get tables? Oh, it's over here. I'm not used to LibreOffice, sorry. You can't see this at all, can you? No, you cannot. That's probably fine. We have backgrounds here. Yep, just 2 columns, really. I don't know, I could do a brief thing. Let's just have 2 columns for now. 5 rows. So here are the tables, right? And I need to look at a chart here. Let me look at some sample charts from some of these RPG books I got. Okay, it is usually roll first. So if I just, like, go right here. Okay. So, we're gonna have 4 different backgrounds to start with. We can have up to 20 in this system. Game Master may choose to remove. To add or remove careers based on the campaign setting, and personal preference. Okay. So yeah, so sometimes you don't have any of these things based on the setting that you're in and what you're doing. All right, so let's talk about, let's just say rural upbringing, right? Let's just talk about, you know, let's just call this the rural background. Urban, we have call this the, you know, the agriculture. Yeah, let's just call it rural. Orphan, and we want like a couple of crazy ones, right? We want to have some that are actually pretty rare, really. Actually, let me add some stuff then. Add a row below, right? Because we want you to be like, well, there's like your rural upbringing, right? You're on like a farm or something, right? You can be an orphan in a big city. You can say that you're a noble. Nobility. You can say, you know, you can say, you can say that you're nobility, or you can say wild. Because this is what? This is heading 1. Ergo, we probably want this to be heading 2. This is now part of that thing. We have, yeah, rural, orphan, nobility. Yeah, if you're like an, I don't know, urban or something. Anything other than these 4? I don't know. Let me look in the book, right? Talk about what we're doing here. Yeah, I do want orphan as an option. That sounds like a good idea. I'm just looking through the book. Man, the way that Traveler handles skills is awkward. Where you have, like, skill level 0. It's just kind of weird. I'm trying to think of all the fantasy books, right? This is really about, well, where did you come from? And what kind of skills do you get in your childhood? Or your background, right? Could divide the urban stuff into, like, you know, lower, middle, upper class, right? That's one way to do it. You can say that, yeah, you're out there in the wild or something crazy like that. Let's call it frontier rather than wild, right? I could also have, you know, like a magical background, right? So that's something I'm wondering about. Will the players be annoyed if I say that you have a random chance of whether you can do magic at all or not? I wonder if that'll be a good idea or a bad idea, right? So yeah, what I'm thinking is, you can check for magical stuff at the start of, you know, between the background and the adolescent's career. I don't know whether this is a good idea or not. I wonder if I need a different book. Just like I said, Traveler doesn't really cover this much. I think I need a different book. Let me go check around, see if I have any other books that I can reference here. Because I feel like this isn't really enough. Like I need more, right? Alright, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll be... Yeah, I'll take a few minutes break. I'll come back with a few more books. And then I can kind of write more of what I want to do here. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna take a quick break. Five-minute break. I'll dig out some more books. I'll see what else I can really reference here for these backgrounds. So yeah. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to grab a lot of big, heavy books. Let's start with Oathhammer. This is actually a really cool RPG. I'm gonna link it right here, actually. So what I want to read is, what does Oathhammer have to say about a character's background? Now, this is a... I don't know. What's the... This is like a 300-page count, but it's not a full-size pages. It's a little bit bigger. I don't actually know what the page size is. I'm not very good at page sizes. Alright, it's the dice pool. D6 system. Everybody's a dwarf, apparently. Didn't realize that was a thing. That does sound pretty cool, though. Yeah. Alright, this is a really interesting RPG book because, and I can't share this because I don't want to break any copyright, but it's, you know, I can't like show this on my screen, I don't think. Okay, character creation overview. Alright, you assign an attribute rank. Okay, a lineage is the first one. Let's look at lineages that you can have there. No, you're not all dwarves. There are other characters. There you can be, you know, but it was a dwarven area, I guess. Okay, very Tolkien-esque. So are these the lineages then? Is he just saying what your lineage is? Okay, and there are wood elves there. So yeah, this is very old school in that it's not really about... It's not really your background doesn't really matter. It's just about the oaths, okay. And your class is just what you start as. So they have, alright. Berserker, Champion, Delver. I like that, you know, the idea that you're sort of a dungeon exploring specialist. That's actually a really cool class. Knight is a class? I actually really like that. Does the knight get a horse? No, they do not. Not necessarily. Alright. We got mage. Okay, I really like this system, but I'm not seeing what I'm looking for here in the Oathhammer book. In that, it's just like, look, just pick the thing that you want. It's not like the career-based style that I'm trying to do. Okay. Yep. Soldiers. This is a really cool system. Troubadours. Then we have unrestricted trade. This is a really cool book just for getting a bunch of, like, cool perks. Because there's really a lot of great perks. It's also talking about skills. There are a lot of them. Okay. Combat. And it does have opposed defense rolls, which is part of what I'm doing. This is actually a nice system. I'm going to have to run this after a certain point. But let's go to the on your turn thing. It uses, Okay, that seems a little iffy. The idea that yeah, that's what I don't like, when everybody goes first, or if everybody on one team goes first, or everybody on another team goes first. Armor rolls, that sounds pretty cool. Where's this idea of, okay, what do you do? It's just an action. What's an action in this system? Okay, I see. They've actually answered this question. This is a very well-written book. So page 47, you have main action, auxiliary action. Is movement an action? I think it is. So this is not quite as good as I was hoping. Yeah, it's not quite as clear. What's an auxiliary action? I don't know. Okay, so auxiliary action. Alright, there's also opportunity attacks. That's the thing. I probably need that in my own system. But I'm not really seeing anything interesting in this particular book when it comes to character creation. It's actually a really cool book. I want to run this at some point. This looks great. We even have, like, everything is in the one book, which is really nice. This one book has everything in it, short and to the point. There's lore here. There's an appendix. And there's a third-party creator license. That's really good. I like this, but it's not... The specific things I'm looking for are the idea of having your initial background, which I don't think is ever really accurately represented here. Next up, Ryutama. Let me link this here. Gonna pop open this book here, Ryutama, and let's see what we can learn from it. actually starts with the travelers. Type of story. Very pretty book. But I'm really looking for, okay, these are the 4 dragons, travelers, and everyone is expected to go on a travel once during their lifetime. Everyone's a traveler. Alright, everyone's on a journey. Take little quests on your journey. The Ryujin. Player character. Alright, here we go. Character creation. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Each character has a weapon type that they're very good at. Picnic rules. Picnic rules are pretty funny. Okay. So yeah, there's really nothing about your... Well, I mean, I guess that your background is sort of your class in Ryutama. Because yeah, a minstrel's a traveler among travelers. The merchant already travels. The hunter is out there. Okay. We got healer, the farmer. I mean, that is actually useful. We have, yeah, like a side job or a side hobby. artisan. Be a noble. Yeah, this is where education comes in. And weapon grace. Okay, I do like that. That actually helps a little bit, right? Because we don't really want anything like, yeah, rural, let's just call it agricultural. We can say it's the agricultural, right? We can say cultural, orphan, nobility. Yeah, we can say the frontier. No, I'm just gonna say rural. I don't know, maybe pastoral. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it rural. So we have rural, orphan, nobility, frontier. Yeah, what other things can I do here? Or I don't know, what about, burger? Because, yeah, it's more about, like, I don't know, I kind of want a different... The word burger is very medieval. I guess that works. This is about the estates. Yeah, that's talking about these dates, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as urban. These are the 5, right? There's rural, frontier, orphan, nobility, and urban. We can also be like, yeah, like the traveler career, right? Like the traveling, the migratory? I don't know, what about, I don't know, the Romani, maybe? Let's see. Itinerant. Itinerant. That's a great word. I love that word. Itinerant is a great word. We have, okay, orphan, rural, frontier. Because really, I'm just trying to go out. So yeah, let's actually... Yeah, stick this one over here. Frontier. Itinerant. Urban, nobility. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or sorry, 6. Can I get a 7th one, or do I stick with this, I wonder? Alright, next up I'm looking at the Old School Essentials book. I doubt this will have much. Page 14, because this is like old school D&D, and let me tell you, old school D&D does not care about your background at all. They just do not care. One bit. Yep. Old School Essentials does not care in the slightest about such things. I'll link it anyways. So where are the tones? Yep, alright, I'm linking that. Good game. It's a very good retro clone, but I don't... Yeah, it's not really... There's just no need to actually use it ever. It's not going to work ever. Well, it's not relevant to what I'm doing. Let me put it that way. It's very much... Pick your class, that's what you are. Doesn't really care where you come from or who you are. Okay. Next up, Streets of Peril. This is a really cool one. Made by the same guy as Oathhammer, actually. It might be very similar in nature. Let me give it a flip through, right? I'm gonna flip through it here, see if it gives me anything, but given what I just read about Oathhammer, probably not much. Probably not a lot. Okay, these do actually have something good here. This has something really good, actually. This is right what I'm... Yeah, this is right up my alley. This is what I'm looking for. It's got lineages. Okay, he also does use the word burger here, although, yeah, that is sort of a... That's a specific time and place that I don't necessarily want to reference. But yeah, no, that's what he's doing here. Okay, changeling. Commoner. Highborn, yep. And you get that noble upbringing bonus. Yeah, that's something I want to do. Itinerant, yep, that's the thing. Alright. Academic, reading, writing. Changelings, huh? So then we have, like, a specific group of people that can give you something. We have ambitions. Then you go into classes. So we have, yeah, sort of the Alright, so yeah, so sort of the warrior type here, the cultist. Okay, that's basically a cleric. So everything has a subclass out of here. The duelists. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I see. The engineer's a cool class. Then the spell casting is, yeah, rare. And there's sort of the soldier there, yes. Okay, then you have subclasses, which are this. You have the scoundrel. You can be an assassin, burglar, a highwayman, a rake. I like this too. This is really neat. I should take some of this stuff. The wayfarers. Yep. Explorer. Scout. Trophy hunters. We have special traits here. Alright, these are all really useful to look at. We have, like, you know, charging and stuff. Various skill lists. But this game still has attributes. Honestly, this is really cool. Alright, I'm reading this book too much. I've gotten what I needed out of it, which is we do have these lineages, which are either like sort of a generic thing or a particular place, which was interesting, right? They are mixing like, oh, you're from a particular spot. Alright, let me go over here. This is Atlas of Letter Earth. I don't know how much I care about this. not useful to me here. This is just a setting book, not really what I needed. Let me link this one. Worlds Without Number, really cool system. There we go. Worlds Without Number. I have the full book, of course. I kickstarted it. Okay. This is, alright, background on page 11. So the background, alright, you do randomly roll, but yeah, that's like, okay, yep, nomad, peasant, performer, physician. Alright, we have... That's actually pretty useful. So this is like your job before you became an adventurer. And they get, okay, yep, growth and learning. They get, yeah. Notice, trade, work. Useful skills. People can kind of get combat skills out of that thing. Then they only have 3 classes, I believe. Yep, there's Expert, Mage, and Warrior. And there's the Adventurer class. If you can't pick. Yeah, real simple system. Very interesting. Let me move on, though. Oh, I think that's it. Those are all the books I wanted to go through. I do actually want to go through here. Yeah, we can go like, yeah, so now, okay, so I am going to delete this row. And now I need to actually assign some of this stuff, right? Let's do 4 to 6. At 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 15 to 18 is now here. This is kind of what I'm thinking. So 1 to 3. So you have, you know, you're most commonly going to be part of a rural group here. But you could also end up in one of these groups here. And this is mostly about, like, where did you grow up, right? That's the goal that we have. Alright, I think we've achieved our main goal for tonight. I think I'm going to call it here. I will post a little picture with all the books that I referenced, because I think that's fun. And then I'm going to flesh this out more, because obviously I need to have... you know, more of this stuff. And then, yeah, I need to figure out what we're doing for the adolescent careers, right? Must then choose the starter career. During their adolescence, must choose a starter career. During their young adult. Adolescence, yeah, so we can do something like that. So yeah, we have background, starter, professional, and then advanced. Alright. How many pages are we at now? 9 pages. Alright. That sounds good. Okay. Thanks for joining. Talk to everyone later. Have a good night.